So yeah, welcome everyone. I'm Rob, and it's exciting to have this virtual session. I know on Friday we had a pretty large group in Wilmington. I think it was roughly 150 folks at Cape Fear Community College, and that was great. But I know that not everybody can travel, and there's a cost associated with that, and there's also sort of a wait. There was a wait list in terms of how many could fit. So we're glad to be able to offer this today. And then the other note, if you did attend on Friday, just know that with the exception of this session, my intro, everything else will be unique. So all of our programming for today is different than what you would have experienced Friday. So with that, let me get started on this Monday morning. I wanted to thank everybody that helped with the conference. This is a partial list. I have a sneaking suspicion we forgot a few folks, but these are all the folks that were really instrumental in helping us put this together. It's a huge endeavor, and Sophie does so much of the legwork, but we also rely on the volunteers from our community. So thank you everybody for helping put this together. It's truly a community event. Okay. So I wanted to begin all my sessions with my legally obligatory mission statement that NC Live is here to help you all support education, enhance economic development, and improve the quality of life of all North Carolinians. So I always start with this, and I say jokingly that it's required, but I do it because it's such a broad mission statement. And everything I'll talk about today in terms of our current services stem from you all telling us, here's how you can help us with our website, and here's how you can help us with patron discovery, and here's how you can help libraries be more discoverable on Google. So all those ideas that we now have as services originated with you all, the members, speaking up at events like this. So feel free, use the chat function throughout my presentation if you have ideas or questions, and we should have at least 5 minutes at the end to answer those. So think broadly about what we could help you with. All right, so the basics about NC Live, we are 209 libraries working together. We're both public library focused and academic. So we have 85 public libraries who we support. We support all the community college libraries across the state, as well as the independent colleges and universities and the UNC system. What's really unique about NC Live is that, unlike other consortia, we really provide the exact same stuff, content, software, services to everybody in the state. So it doesn't matter where the patron's located or what institution they're affiliated with, they have access to everything that we offer. And that's really nice in terms of trying to sort of level the playing field, whether you live in a rural area or an urban area. And maybe your local library isn't the biggest or the best funded, but by being a member of that library, you also have access to NC Live. So we're really proud of that, and we think it does help, bring all these things, these content services, software to folks that otherwise may not be able to afford it. All right, so I mentioned at the top that we really depend on our committees to help support us. And these are the 4 advisory committees that help us put together events and help us determine what resources to purchase. So I say this or share this in case you're interested in potentially serving on one of these committees. On the left, you'll see sort of the basics about how many members are on each committee, how long they serve, et cetera. But I'm just going to quickly go through the 4, again, to let you know what they do, and then also sort of soft pitch if you're interested, sort of my recruiting pitch. So the first one is continuing education and training. So if you are interested in instruction, then this might be a committee that you would want to serve on. So the CTAC helps us put together training events. They help us recruit speakers like Meredith Farkas, today's keynote. So if you're into that and you're into helping determine what professional development opportunities we should offer, then the CTAC might be of interest. The RAC is really focused on collection development. So this is the group that tells me what to go purchase every time we purchase resources. So if you're into collection development, if you have a passion for assessing resources and determining which resources we should purchase for the state, then you might consider the RAC. The OPAC is really focused on outreach, promotions, partnerships. The keynote, keynote maybe not the best word today, but the signature event of the OPAC is the annual conference. So they do a lot of the heavy lifting to organize today's event and Friday's event in Wilmington. They also help us with advising on social media, marketing, outreach opportunities, et cetera. So again, if that's your jam, that might be for you. And then the recently renamed OSAC is focused on online services. Mostly the website, but they also help us with other software that we license, like EasyProxy, for example. Yeah, if you're into library software services or the library websites, then the OSAC might be the one for you. Oh, and I should go back. If any of those got you excited, then feel free to email us, and we will pass your name on to your representative who makes the nomination. So probably the easiest way is to email help@nclive.org, and then we'll funnel it to the right person. So I should have put that in the slide. So if you're interested, just let us know. All right, so I mentioned how we try to equal the playing field. So if you total up all of the resources that NC Live has in its collections, it comes to about 1.8 billion things. So these are full text articles, streaming videos, ebooks, digitized newspapers, language lessons. I mean, the list goes on. So it's a really huge collection, and we're really proud to be able to provide that to anybody in the state that has a library card. I was going to pull in Andy Kaufman and read you our strategic plan as he read Great Gatsby and to see how quickly folks bail. But I wanted to not do that and also just share that if you're interested in our strategic plan, it is posted on our website. The 3 pillars are access, awareness, and support. And I'll give you the crib notes version. Really, we're focused on securing additional funding for NC Live. Most of our funding comes from the state legislature, and it's been flat for a long time. So if you had to boil it down, that's really where the plan is headed. And we have folks on our executive committee who are committed to seeking that funding and championing it. So that's the short version, but if you want to read it, it's actually not that long. So it's maybe the Gatsby was a bad comparison. All right. So I mentioned how we have 1.8 billion things. We don't spend, relative to that, a lot of money to get that. So we're able to secure really deep discounts from vendors by negotiating as a block. So when I talk to a vendor, they know that if they can strike a deal with me, then they don't have to worry about North Carolina, right? They can focus on knocking on other doors. If they lose a contract with us, then they have to contact 209 libraries and see if they have the money and interest in buying those resources. So sort of market factors are at work here. And so we're able to get really good discounts, and we spend about $3.5 million on content. When the vendors tally that up, the sticker price, if you all were to buy it individually, it'd be roughly $50 million. So you could see the pretty staggering, I think, return on investment from negotiating as a cooperative. All right, so that was it on the collection. I'm just going to talk about some patron services for a minute. So the first thing that we do on your behalf, and this is really to make sure that folks that aren't thinking about libraries, so like information seekers who are on Google, just searching for stuff, that we try to pull as many of them back to libraries as we can. So what we've done is we're taking advantage of a program that Google offers called the Google Ad Grant Program, which basically gives any not-for-profit $10,000 a month in credit to run advertisements. So we use that to create advertisements for things that are relevant to NC Live resources. So for example, we have a language learning program called Transparent Language, and that's available to anybody in the NC Live membership. So we sort of reverse engineer that and think, okay, if someone was searching Google and they needed to learn a language, what would they type, right? So they might type in learn Spanish for free, something like that. And if that happens, we've created ads behind the scenes that in Google, the person searching for learning Spanish for free might see our ad at the top for Transparent Language. So ideally, they click on that, and they have one of 2 options. If they have a library card, they can simply log in and now they're taking their Spanish lesson. So great. We brought them from not thinking about a library to now using a library resource. So we're reinforcing that, that library card in your pocket has more than maybe you thought it did. The other option, if they don't have a library card, is they can fill out a really brief form online. It's name, email, and zip code. And if they fill that out, they'll have instant access for 10 days to NC Live resources. So they too could then do what they wanted to do, which was learn, take their first Spanish lesson. But then using their zip code, we redirect them to their closest public library to get a card so they have permanent access. So that's another good outcome. Someone who wasn't a library user is now going to be a library user. So we do this behind the scenes to drive traffic back to libraries, and it's been going on for maybe 3 or 4 years now. So this has been something that we've had success with. Just the sheer number of folks that are on Google, we're not going to reach them all by any stretch, but it is nice to see every month we're funneling maybe 400 to 500 people back to their library or to their library for the first time, which we think is good. So we're doing what we can, all by way of this program that Google offers. All right. And this is what it looks like. I'll just give you a quick visual. So we've all seen Google Ads on the left. I don't think I have to show you that. But then if they click on that, they'll be redirected, as I mentioned, to that page where either on the left, they log in because they already have a card, or they fill out that form, which as advertised is really short, and then they have access. So either way, it's a win, and we're taking them from the wilderness into the library. All right, so the next service for patrons that we offer is website services. So we realized several years ago that libraries don't always have the time or the expertise to focus on designing their own website. And it can be really difficult, right? We're competing with the best websites in the world. It doesn't really matter that Amazon and TikTok and YouTube have the deepest pockets on the planet, and they can, make their websites incredibly intuitive and mobile friendly, etc. Once folks experience those, they expect every website to be as user friendly as those. So that puts an enormous amount of pressure on libraries. So what we did is we worked with a design firm to put together a website template for libraries that you all can use. And it doesn't require you to have any special skills. Anybody can do it. I've had directors and deans stand on stage and say, it's so easy to use that even I can do it. So we're really proud of that. And about 25 libraries in the state use this as their primary website. It meets accessibility standards. It looks really good. So if this is appealing to you, if you struggle, managing your own website and designing it, this might be a service that you're interested in. So just let us know. All right, so the next one is discovery. So we realized that not every library had a discovery service in the state, and not every library could afford to have a discovery service. So we went ahead and licensed ProQuest Summon on behalf of everybody. And I think it's roughly 150, maybe 140 libraries in the state use this through NC Live. But it's free to you. We've already secured it in our ProQuest contract. And it really meets that expectation that users have of, basically searching in natural language, finding everything that the library has in one set of results. I wouldn't say it's Google, but it's more Google-like than a traditional catalog. So we wanted to make sure that everybody in the state who wants this has access to it. Again, if you don't have access, let us know, and we can connect you to the Summon folks to get you configured. All right, hosted proxy. So this is one of those behind the scenes things that we do, but we licensed from OCLC a product called Easy Proxy, which basically makes it easier for patrons to log in once to whatever resource they're looking at, and then Easy Proxy keeps them logged in for the duration of their search. So they can log in, if the first thing they look at is EBSCO, they log in once. At that point, they can bounce around to ProQuest and Gale and Films on Demand, etc., and they won't be prompted to log in again. So it keeps you logged in for the duration of your session, and it's really a convenience for folks who are off-site, right? They're trying to get to the library's resources from somewhere other than the library, and it makes it easy to do that and to authenticate. Again, this is free to you all. We license it on your behalf. If you currently pay for this on your own and you'd rather stop paying, let us know, and we will get you connected. All right, so those were all patron services, and I'm going to more quickly, I think, go through these services for librarians. So in addition to events like today, the annual conference, number 3 on your list, we also offer things like promotional materials. These are marketing and promotional materials that vendors provide, and they will ship these to you. All you have to do is go to our website and pick out what you want. You can order, 50 bookmarks, 100 brochures, etc., for various NC Live resources. And then the vendors will ship that directly to you, and then you can hand that out to patrons to, build awareness of these. We also offer training. So I mentioned earlier that the CTAC does a lot of this work, working with Devin Wall on our team. So we have a ton of training opportunities, and I'll highlight a couple that are coming up next month. But please, bookmark our training calendar because we're always adding to it, and we have a lot of really interesting trainings coming up. Some of the behind the scenes stuff that maybe folks take for granted, but it does require some effort to put together. We do provide usage statistics. So if you have reporting requirements, you can always go to the NC Live website and pull your stats. We keep those as up to date as possible. The vendors usually have a lag time, but as soon as we get the data from the vendors, we normalize it, clean it up, and post it so it's available to you. And then I mentioned earlier, you can always email help@nclive.org. So if you're ever in a pickle with an NC Live resource, or you just have a random question, feel free to contact us. All right, so Maximize is a newer program where we will, if you're interested, what we'll do is do an evaluation of the way you're currently using NC Live. So we'll look at your website, we'll look at your usage statistics, we'll look at some of your peer libraries to see like what's different about you in the way that you're taking advantage of NC Live. And we'll try to pick up on ideas that we can then share back to you about how you can get more out of your membership. So the whole purpose of this is let us dig into the way you're using NC Live and come up with 5 action items for how you can get more out of it. So some of these are marketing ideas or maybe placement on the website, but they're specific to you. So this is totally free, but if you're interested, you can see at the bottom, there's a link to sign up. And I should mention, we'll share these slides, so you don't have to, if you miss it, no worries. But yeah, you can sign up, and one of the staff members here at NC Live will do a deep dive and then meet with you one-on-one to give you some recommendations. So yeah, I encourage you, if you're interested, who doesn't want to get more out of their NC Live, go ahead and sign up. All right, so I already teased you with this, but I went through the calendar, the training calendar, and just picked out 4 what sound to me like really interesting sessions that are coming up. Like all of our training and professional development, it's free. There's never any charge, whether it's in person or virtual. And we want these to be as accessible as possible. So again, I won't read these, but these are 4 that I think are really interesting. These are a mix of online and also an in-person workshop at the bottom. So yeah, if you're interested, you know where to go. And then another newer project that we are currently, we just finished the pilot, so we're just about to launch it in a broad way. But if you want to learn more about this, there's a session coming up on June 17th. But basically, we're calling it the Alumni Project. And the idea is that a lot of students, whether they're in 2-year schools or 4-year schools, they discover NC Live as a student, and then they graduate and they assume that they lose access, right? Because their student ID has expired, so they just assume that NC Live is gone. And this is a really unfortunate thing because they may be getting their first job. They may still need a lot of those educational resources to be successful. So what we're doing is we're working with alumni offices to get the word out, right? So typically an alumni office just bothers you for money. That's kind of what all of my schools do. Like, hey, Rob, remember us? Give us money. And so that's the message they basically have to send all the time. So we found in working with a handful of alumni offices that they really like being able to say, hey, we have something for you as a graduate, right? As a former student, here's a perk of being an alumni of fill in the blank college. So anyway, NC Live, because it's available through public libraries, we're trying to build up that awareness that as long as the graduate is still in the state of North Carolina, they have not actually lost access to NC Live. All they really need to do is get a library card from their public library and they're back in, right? So far this has been universally liked. I mean, no one who can not like, building awareness. But anyway, if you want to learn more about it, let us know. And there's a link, like I said at the bottom, if you want to learn more from us about how this works. All right, and we're very excited. We had a field experience student work with us, and we are launching this, checking my calendar, in 9 days. So this is a new Moodle course about NC Live business and market research. So this is really interesting if you maybe are helping patrons that are trying to use NC Live's business resources, and maybe you yourself as a librarian don't feel super confident in your skills. This will get you up to speed so that you then can help your patrons and feel really confident about showing them the tools that are available. So we'll launch this, like I said, later this month. Look for an announcement, but we're really excited about it. I've seen it. It's really cool. It's interactive. It's asynchronous. So we think folks are really going to enjoy it. All right. So I hope you have questions. I'm about to check the chat, but this opening is about to end, but I want to make sure that everyone knows how to stay in touch with us. So if you follow us on social media, great. If you don't, here are all of our handles. I know librarians will never let go of listservs, so we have listservs. And again, feel free to email us or call us if you have any questions.